So services businesses versus one-time revenue. We want reoccurring. We want subscription. That's highly valued. Growth. And growth is really, a different story depending on size. Most of the companies here are small. You're going to be wanting to grow 100% a year. That's a great target. If you're doing that, then you're awesome. At scale, 30%, 39% in the top 5% there. Adjusted cash EBITDA margin, so let's just call it EBITDA, 34% for the top quartile. So 24 and 34, that's kind of what you say rule of 40, now rule of 50. You add up growth rate and profitability, and that kicks out to be something pretty nice. You'll see rule of 40 being a 55 there. Gross margins, I'm not going to talk about too much, but the next two I really want to mention, gross retention and net retention. So when we were at Granicus, we didn't lose a single customer for the first 8 years. So 0 churn. Pretty incredible. I think it was what made us successful was that commitment to customer outcomes. So you'll see, 3% customer revenue loss is kind of in the top quartile. At the bottom is 92. By the way, this is why later stage private equity firms like to buy these companies and then turn off support and turn off innovation and just milk them at 92% at a high profitability, which is pretty terrible, and it's something we've got to solve in the market eventually. Magic number is growth. How efficiently are you growing? My view is we should be spending $1 in sales and marketing to get $1 in new first-year ARR. So if you're a founder, that's your target. And then, these are the enterprise value multiples on both revenue. So you see 11 times in the top quartile, 12 for some of these deals. And then the EBITDA multiple. Later stage companies, there's not many here. You're going to be looking at profitability equally to growth. So some great data there. Thank you to Shay for sharing that. A couple other tidbits that they had that I think are really useful and important. A couple things that I want to mention here. Premiums are paid for market leaders, right? So there's a few companies out here competing, and we all want to be the market leader. There's value in being the market leader. I think that's an important piece. Modern technology. I know as customers, all of you in the government are like, please give me something that looks somewhat new because I've got a lot of old technology. So modern technology, sales efficiency. That's how the hardest part of this market, as you probably all know, is that getting customers is really hard. We've heard about the procurement process. I was a judge yesterday. I think a great technology product out there. 8 years he's had the company, and we have 20 customers, right? At Granicus, we ran out of money every year for the first 3 years because it's so hard to get customers, so hard to get funding. It's very challenging to get momentum in this market, but once you have it, it's incredibly powerful because those customers that are raving fan customers of yours as a company, they want to buy other products from you, and that allows you to expand and cross-sell, which is also up here. And then there's a mention here about greenfield, which is new products, not necessarily replacement products. In my market, or in my business at Great Hill, where we do later stage investment, you'll hear fully vended market. We just bought a company called Vision Government Solutions, and they're the leader in CAMA. So for the appraiser's office, how do we appraise all of our properties and issue taxes around that and collect that money? Fully vended market, everybody has a solution. So better to be in a greenfield, and that's what a lot of the startups here are, is we're creating new markets. Good. If there's questions on this, I'm happy to chat with you guys afterwards. I know there's a lot of data there. So one of the things that's been mentioned over and over at this conference is AI. CivStart is focused on AI. We have an entire cohort of AI startups this year. We'll have more next year. AI is here, and I think it's going to be a pretty incredible change. So I'm not an expert at AI. I'm not a developer. I try to learn as much as I can, and I try to keep my eyes open. And I've had the opportunity to see a bunch of great companies. So let me just mention a few. Last couple months ago, I was at the Alliance for Innovation. A lot of you were there. We had a nice gathering at my house as well. Thank you guys for joining that in Scottsdale, where I live. And I met Gavin Blake, who does City Detect. And I sat in and watched his presentation. And what does City Detect do? Well, they put cameras on on your garbage trucks and street cleaners, and they go around your city, and they can log every single code infraction in the community, like in a week. Every single one. Every broken window, every down fence, every tire or parked car that's abandoned in someone's yard. And then they put them all on a map, and then they prioritize their severity, and then they give you a route for where to go to talk to those people to get those things fixed. Unbelievable, just thinking about the amount of time that it would take to do that. Erica Olson is here, Madison AI. Met Erica 6 months ago around the beginning of the year. Got to see a demo of their products. One example, just creating a staff report, an industry that I've been in at Granicus forever. And a prompt where I can ask it to create a staff report. I can ask it to summarize the data differently. And like this report, which is 5, 6, 7 pages with all this detail, is created for me in 1 minute. It's unbelievable, and so many other use cases there. Jordan is here from Automotus. I met Jordan 2 years ago. Smart AI vision cameras like City Detect, but helping to improve traffic flow in major metros. Ideas like, how do we manage loading zones that are always overfilled during rush hour time or right after rush hour when everybody comes in for delivery? Can we charge per minute? What kind of automation can we do there? How do we clean up bus lanes and bike lanes and enforce a mobile community that we want in our cities? And then Anthony introduced me to somebody who is doing police reports based on body cam images. So if you've ever seen a cop who holds your ID in front of their body cam, well, now the body cam has that information, and they're using speech to text to write the reports. And so we don't need our police officers to sit and write reports every day. So what I'd say is that I think AI is going to be incredible. I think we've all got to listen, learn. We've got to try new things. We've got to experiment. We've got to pivot. It will be the most dramatic and fastest technology revolution that I've been part of, and we started Granicus at the end of the internet revolution. But I think a lot of things are unchanged about this market, and so if you're a founder and you're building cool AI, please remember this market is still a relationship market. This market is a partnership between you and your customers to make communities better. This market appreciates customer service and becoming a trusted partner with your government. I also think you want to be on the revenue generating side. If you can have a business that's going to help generate revenue for government over the next 3 or 4 years, certainly much better than being in the disbursement side. We know that the federal government is cutting a lot of that funding. And I would say local is going to be way more stable than state and federal, which is important. So speaking of local government, spent my whole career working with local government. My personal mission has been better communities through better governance, through better technology. I think we would all be in a better position in our communities if we took some of that federal money and gave it to cities. I think we'd make better decisions. We're closer to our community. And this is where the real work gets done to improve communities and improve people's lives. And I just want this group, it's a really important group. We've brought thought leaders from government, from investors, from startups together. Let's just never lose that mission. Better communities through better governance, through better technology. It's very impactful. I think we're doing great work. When we started Granicus, If you wanted to know what a city council meeting, what happened at a city council meeting, you literally had to request a tape that got sent to you a week later. And then you could watch it if you missed it on your cable TV channel. So we've opened up government, we've created transparency. There's many companies in here doing collaboration, doing automation, saving time. And I think in the end, we're gonna have great communities in this country because of the work that everybody in here is doing. So thank you for the work, thank you for the time, thank you for being here at CivStart. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for those words of wisdom. I always enjoy hearing from Tom because he has such great insight and looking into the future and figuring out where the innovations are going to be and jump on it, which I think many of us in this room, that's why we're here. And so really, really grateful for his words. I was going to do a little bit of Arlington trivia as we do our costume change. How many people feel that they're pretty familiar with Arlington County since you've been here for, and if you weren't with me, that don't count. One of the questions I thought about, and I know I've got some friends that have really spent a lot of time here recently, but can somebody tell me who is our largest, where is the largest commercial footprint here in Arlington? Who is the most major entity that resides here in Arlington County? Now, we're only 26 square miles. We're kind of tiny, but we're very dense. Anybody know? Oh my God, yes! Y'all are in the GovTech space. It is the Pentagon at 6 million square feet of office. It's been an innovator for us here in Arlington because as part of procurement, you have to be within a certain radius in order to be able to respond as a contractor. So that was my little bit of trivia. I wish I had some music to go around, but thank you for that. And with that, it's my pleasure to invite our panel discussion this morning, which is on AI that serves everyone, tackling real-world problems with inclusive innovation, which I think for us in local government, we're always looking at ways to make sure that we're able to connect with the communities that we represent. We had many conversations around that this morning already. And so with that, I will ask to the stage Parth Shah, the CEO and co-founder of Polymorphic. Also, Angie O'Brien, who is the Deputy City Manager of a place right here in Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia. And then Tashan Chowdhury with BUS. If you all could come to the stage. Thank you.
Well, we're super excited to have this panel, and I couldn't think of a better two city leaders to do this with. Quick about me, I'm Parth here with Polymorphic. We do AI customer service platforms for government, and these are two of our favorite city partners. So we'll start with quick introductions, and then we have some really exciting stories that they're going to share and some of the plans that they have for the future on what AI that serves everyone means. And they have very unique communities and some of the challenges that they think about, some of the ways they think about the key problems that AI can really help with when it comes to customer service. I think will really resonate as y'all think about your own communities. So I'll start with Intishan, if you want to give a little bit of background on you, and then Angie, and then we'll go into the questions.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Intishan Chowdhury. It's a privilege to be with you, all of you here this morning. Parth, thank you so much for moderating this discussion. Thank you to GovTech and all the sponsors and all the attendees here with us for this conference. I think we see where the future of GovTech is going, and to be in a space with all of you is truly inspiring.